Hi, I'm Dave Webb. This is In Conversation. I have with me today Sean Moffitt. He is the president of Agent Wildfire and author with Mike Dover of WikiBrands, Reinventing Your Company in a Customer-Driven Marketplace. Sean, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
You said to me earlier that social media is a four-letter word. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, it doesn't make me great friends with my kind of out there digital cousins, but I guess I take kind of three different views of the word social media. First of all, we all bemoan the fact that this is the new, cat's meow, and I think everybody has become an expert in it to the point where who really is the legitimate social media expert? So that's one reason. I think the other reason would be there's an entire world of companies becoming engaged out there. Social media is just a tool. If you look at collaboration or just merely engaging your customers, there are just so many different technologies and platforms that social media kind of simplifies the argument in terms of what they should be doing. And from a purely economic standpoint, if you look at a $70 trillion industry, social media worldwide is $600 billion. Digital media of that media is about 15% of that, and social of digital is 15%. You get down to a pretty small number, and so we're more about how do you treat this full industry as an entity, and actually how does social media and all these other forms of engagement help them become much more closer to their customers.
So you've spoken about it being a cultural thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a mistake out there that think this is just about building a Facebook page or a Twitter wall and actually seeing things take off. Most of the best companies, and we studied about 100 of them in the book, at the basis of it is they've had some type of either cultural change or it's embedded in the DNA of their company that they're much more open and authentic with their customers than kind of their competitor down the street.
Right. So how do you measure the ROI on culture?
I thought we were going to wait later into the interview. People don't care about ROI, do they? No, it's obviously if you're any type of person that has a financial bent, you want to know that investment put in somehow is going to be, profit put out. I'll pause for a second by saying we look at the benefits of becoming a wiki brand, and there's really 6 benefits. So it's not just pure top line revenue. Sure, brand advocacy or business advocacy is one of those things, but if you engage your customers well, you can actually also get tremendously good insight from them, great content, user-generated content from them. One of the easiest ways to sell in social media and other tools into companies is actually cost defray. And one of the classic examples is customer service. It can, in certain scenarios, cost you upwards to 40 times less to actually have a customer answer another customer's question than actually having to staff up that yourself. And so a CFO loves those types of figures. And then sometimes it's just sweet serendipity happens where you did something in social media, experimented, and things took off, and you couldn't plan for it, but afterward you're on the other side going, thank God we did that. So many different benefits. I would say we looked at the top companies. There's about 46 different measures that they look at, and frequently some of the poor performing companies were looking at the exactly wrong measures.
Name some brands that really do get this.
Yeah, I mean,
I was going to say social media, but I didn't want to offend you.
No, it would have been a pseudo dirty word, but I will say general industries, e-commerce gets as well. I mean, you can tie a straight line between I did something online and here's what turned into sales. And so you look at the Dells of the world, the Zappos of the world, which we profile in our book. They are well down the line of mastering this, even though themselves they would say, hey, we haven't barely skimmed the surface. I think other ones that are starting to get it, starting to understand it, if I look at a Pepsi and the Refresh Pepsi project, they could have spent millions of dollars doing advertising on a Super Bowl, and a lot of their competitors do. Instead, this year they launched this Refresh Pepsi project, spent millions of dollars, and now people are saying, look, it is cola after all. I mean, there is Pepsi Coke, and if I'm on the middle, Pepsi's kind of the nice guy. They're giving millions of dollars for different community projects, and I like that. And somehow I'm involved in that because I'm on their crowdsourced platform voting to see who I should be giving my money to. And we always get the business-to-business question. Intuit is my poster boy for how to do this well. 5 years ago, they weren't even in social media or communities or anything. They were forbidden by their CEO to be in that space. They had a real turnabout, and actually I would, not only is it profitable for them to be doing it, I would consider them to be the B2B masters of doing this type of stuff.
How does a company start?
Yeah, I mean,
saying Intuit, was forbidden a few years ago. How does a company start in? and social media. Oops, I said it again.
You can say it. You know what? We'll just dub it out later, maybe. There's really 4 ways they do get into it. I'm not too sure which way is preferred, but first of all, if you're a startup and you understand this stuff, I mean, it's so easy just to bury that in your DNA of your company, and just anybody that comes in just recognizes that's how we do business here. Those are the easy guys, and we see a lot of them in startups. The tougher ones, and these are the businesses that we profile in the book, are big companies that actually are trying to make a change. It's tough as nails to change organization behavior, and so it's either your CEO says, look, we're doing it. And so you look at a Michael Dell. Dell said, look, we are not engaged with their customer. We're going to spend $600 million and change our company. Sometimes it happens out of crisis. Bad things happen. You realize I cannot control this conversation, but I need to be part of it. And that's how you get into it. But I think a lot of the really good companies just go at some point, this isn't a media. We need to engage our customers. Our customers are in these spaces now. We need to staff up over time and actually get involved. And so if I looked at Canadian companies, I think Molson is probably the best large brewery in the world in terms of getting how to manage the space. And they took a year trying to understand how to do it. Now they're actually doing a lot of really good things in terms of community and social media.
Is it going to be the norm to be collaborative with your customer rather than pushing your customer?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think even small business, which tends to not have the staffing or resources to actually do this type of stuff. Came across a stat the other day that even versus last year, they're 65% more likely to value Facebook or Twitter. So we're really on the cusp of actually embracing, those being the top 2 well-known tools, but I think embracing a culture that's much more open, to the point where we actually asked 300 executives across Canada, what's the number one reason driving you into these spaces? And what shocked me, what surprised me was they said, the need to have an authentic and transparent relationship with our customers, which 5 years ago, I don't think we would have even heard of that. It might have been the technology or people getting mobile phones, but really, they're getting it. People want to have a real connection with the companies they deal with.
The book is WikiBrands. Sean Moffitt, thanks for being with us.
Great to be
Thank you
here.
for watching.